Okay, so I'm going to apologize early on that, sorry, there's going to be some loud noise because of the fan. Hold on. Okay, I decided to turn it down because it's a little loud. But anyway, I wanted to do a video. This is one of the videos that I sat on for a bit because someone sent me this Ask HershNoeie, and it's about basically Chris Watts and the whole situation that happened a little bit ago. I had videos I did on Chris Watts, and I talked about literally my view of him. And I didn't want to really do this video because I felt like it's going over something that I've already went over. But someone left me an Ask HershNoeie. They had saw this video. I don't know if they're a subscriber or not, but they left this video or left this message. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Okay, I have to go through and find it. So this person said, hey Hersh, I wanted to basically comment on one of the videos that I saw talking about Chris Watts. I think that the whole story about what happened is not really out there, and that Chris probably was under a lot of pressure, not having the perfect situation at home, and it led to this situation that happened. I do think that he did what he did, but I think that there are more issues that are going on that we don't know about. And they go into detail, but I'm not going to mention some of the wording. I'm changing some things because I know how YouTube is and how they demonetize. But they go on to say that the life at home probably wasn't perfect, and that imperfect situation created the situation that happened. Go on to say that I do feel sorry for all of those people involved, and et cetera, et cetera. But here's my take. Here's my take. You cannot take what Chris Watts did and looking at the two children and say that because of his imperfect situation that they deserved what they got. I know you're not saying that, but it kind of comes off as saying that, making a lot of excuses for Chris Watts. Right? It gives him a lot of latitude here that poor him, he didn't have a whole lot of perfect things going on in his life. But newsflash, there's a lot of people that don't have a lot of perfect things going on in their life. No one's saying that you have to have a perfect life. But these two young, beautiful girls trusted him. I mean, I don't look at this situation any other than I look at my own three daughters. I have three girls from 10 to 4. And they trust me. They look to me as an example, just like they look to their mother as an example. And they trust me, they love me, they do everything they can to make me happy, but they live their life. They're happy, they're fun, they're everything. And his kids look to him that way too. And the fact that he used their trust against them by itself, we're not even getting to Shanann, but just that part alone, I can't say a lot of good things about Chris. I'm sorry, I just can't. There's nothing, and I've had a few people who have tried to defend this guy, and I don't see it. I don't see it. I can't see it. And again, it's not about the cheating factor, because basically Shanann can vote. If she was alive and allowed to live, she could have voted with her feet and basically said, okay, if you want that chick over there, fine, I'm just going to divorce you and leave. She wasn't given that option. She wasn't given the option. He didn't even give her that option. He didn't give anyone an option other than himself. And not only that, lied about it. And not only that, not only did he lie about it, but the same day that he did all these things, he went to work like nothing ever happened. All because of someone else that he wanted. Now, people will speculate and say that the other woman involved had something to do with everything going on. That I don't know, and it hasn't been proven, and I don't want to accuse someone of something that may not be true, because that happens constantly, where we blame people who have nothing to do with anything, and they carry the weight of being blamed for something they didn't do. So I can't say that. There are people who do, so be it, but you run a lot of risk in doing that. I'm not going to say that. But with Chris, there is proof that he did a lot of the stuff that happened, if not everything. And the fact that we're still having people who want to defend someone who did what he did, looking your kids in the eye, or even being there knowing you're causing harm, I do everything I can to make sure my kids are safe, especially given now the sickness is going on. I'm even more heightened and worried. My wife, I treasure every ounce of time I have with her, because she's my everything. Same with my kids. And to me, it'd be different if I was not a father and I wasn't married or anything. But basically, Chris and I and his family are pretty much the same. Pretty much. When you look at it on paper, we're kind of the same. The only difference was we're not in financial issues like he was, and what was going on. Apparently, in the details, there was a lot of financial stress, and this person mentions that later on. But they go into a lot of details that I can't really talk about here because of YouTube. But they were saying, like, there's a lot of financial stress, and so that was part of the imperfect situation. But that everyone goes through that, especially now. But you're not seeing people do things like that. I mean, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. So he has two beautiful daughters that he did that to, and really didn't think much about it, it seems, because the way that he did it, what happened, and the fact that he just bounced and went to work. Even when one of the daughters was pleading to him to don't do the same thing to her as he did to the other one, he still did it. I have an issue when one of my kids gets a cookie and the other one finds out that one of them is chewing on a cookie, and they're like, well, I didn't get one. I want one. I feel bad saying, well, she actually cleaned up the table and did some stuff, so she earned the cookie. I feel bad telling the one kid, well, she deserved it. And I still end up giving them something. You know what I mean? I can't understand that. Your kids are a part of you. The other part, when it comes to HershNoeie is the type of woman that most men want in this country. Most men, including myself. To me, she's as perfect as you can probably get. I'm not saying that she is without fault in terms of maybe attitude or whatever. But who doesn't have that? I have attitude from every now and again. That's part of being a human being. And to me, and again, no one knows, and they were saying no one knows what's going on behind closed doors. I give you that. But does that deserve what she got? I don't think so. And I don't think that holding her to such a high ceiling of being perfect on everything is fair. We're not holding him to much of a standard, but we're holding everybody else to such a high standard that it doesn't make sense. We're blaming victims. And to me, it doesn't, I never understand that. I never understand it. HershNoeie was pretty much, again, I'm looking on the outside, okay? But you have two great kids, two beautiful daughters, right? One wrote a song about it, or not wrote a song, but sung a song to him about how much she loves him. They looked up to him. That's one piece. The other piece is you have a beautiful wife, a go-getter, someone who was pretty much kind of carrying him to some degree. He got in way over his head, buying way too much. A house he can't really afford. He was basically using the company vehicle to get around in. and doing the horriblest, I mean, the worst thing you could think of, using the company vehicle to do it. So he also led to a lot of the financial stuff you were talking about. Respectfully to you, I'm not attacking you, but he was also a part of the financial situation. It wasn't just HershNoeie. Now, was she maybe someone who expected a lot out of him? Maybe. But I think that is part of being a man. Like, I think a wife should expect something out of a man. Is he supposed to just, she's supposed to be his mother and just say, hey, let me just take care of you? No. It's a situation of saying, yeah, maybe she expected more out of him. Maybe he was an introvert. She was mentioning the person that was in this email. Maybe he's an introvert and blah, blah, blah. Maybe, but I'm an introvert too. I just think that there's so many excuses that are being put on a person who later comes out with parts of the truth here and there to different people, bits and pieces of the truth, but still not fully coming out with everything. He told his father what happened, but then kind of lied for sure, talking about how she was trying to hurt one of the kids. That wasn't true, right? There's so many little bits and pieces of information that comes out, and then, you know, you're right at the end. Why are people still obsessed with Chris Watts? Well, why are you still obsessed with defending him? This was something that I did a few videos on, let it go, but I'm responding to you because there are people who celebrate him, and I don't quite understand that, especially given everything that goes on. It's one thing for you to do that to your pregnant wife. Let's not forget that she was pregnant. It's one thing to do that to your pregnant wife, an unborn child. It's another thing to do that also to your two children. To me, he's the lowest of the low. And I haven't changed my view on that. To me, he's the lowest of the low. So I don't think that him having a perfect life or not makes a difference. I think that it's a matter of principle. And I think that regardless of his circumstances, if he was done with the marriage, then say, hey, look, I'm done with the marriage. Is it because you didn't want to pay child support? Is it because you still didn't want to be a father? What is it? We never will really know the truth because he hasn't really told the full truth as to everything that's happened. There's dribbles, right? There's little bitty dribbles of information. So, yeah, I mean, I know that you were posing this question and I guess seeking clarity, but I don't see this person, Chris Watts, the same way that you do. I just don't. Anyhow, I hope I answered your questions. Make sure you join our Discord, which will be down in the description box below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and until next time, I will see you. Take care.